right, family. Pastor Warren here. Hope everybody's doing well. I just wanted to share something with you. I came through in a little devotional I was reading over, and it was about forgiveness, and it was referencing the parable in Matthew 18, verse 21 to 35, about the unmerciful servant, and it began to discuss how this servant was forgiven by his master, and once he was forgiven, he goes out and he finds someone that owed him less than he owed his master and was forgiven for, and he wouldn't forgive them. As a matter of fact, he had them thrown into prison until they could repay him. And word got back to the master, and the master was highly upset because he didn't forgive like he had been forgiven. And Jesus ends this parable with this thing, said, "This is how my heavenly Father will treat each of you unless you forgive your brother or your sister from your heart." And so it makes you take a moment and think, the emphasis that God puts on us truly forgiving people. When those disciples asked Jesus, they said, "Teach us to pray." And many people refer to this as the Lord's Prayer, the disciples' prayer, right? Well, in that prayer, he says, "Forgive us our trespasses as we forgive those who trespass against us." So even when Jesus was teaching his disciples to pray, he put it in that model prayer for them to forgive. They're asking for forgiveness based off of their ability to forgive. And so I think we should really take that into consideration and really take a moment and examine our hearts. Are we harboring, unforgiveness in our hearts? Because if we are, I think it's time that we take the necessary steps to get that rectified, because we can't fool ourselves to think that God's going to be okay with us not forgiving others. As a matter of fact, not only will he not be okay with it, but we can cancel all of our forgiveness if we're not willing to forgive. I'm encouraging each and every individual that may watch this over any amount of time. Forgive. Nothing's worth you losing the grace and unmerited favor that God has given to you based off of our inability to extend that same type of grace and mercy to someone else. So just as God has forgiven us, and only God knows what he had to forgive us for, right? What would we truly say if everything that God had to forgive us for had to be listed out? Would we really be okay with that? I think not. So whatever someone else may have done for us, and it doesn't matter what it is, because it didn't matter what we did when God forgave us, so it doesn't matter what they did. How about we extend that same forgiveness? And I believe the impact that we would have on the world would turn this thing upside down if we were to forgive as God forgave us. I pray that you have a heart of forgiveness, and it will be something that you'll apply this day forward. God bless.